Good evening. Security chiefs in Gibraltar are still searching for a bomb after 3 IRA terrorists were shot dead there. And they're also hunting for a 4th IRA man who helped plan the mission. The Foreign Secretary, Sir Geoffrey Howe, told the Commons there were no explosives in the car left by the 3 terrorists who were shot. The 3 were known IRA hardliners, including convicted bomber Mairead Farrell. Sir Geoffrey said he was in no doubt a dreadful terrorist attack had been prevented.
The bombers were making their way off Gibraltar when they were intercepted by British Special Forces in civilian clothing. In the shooting that followed, 2 of the IRA gang were killed at this petrol station near the border. A 3rd was killed even closer to the frontier. It now appears that the IRA unit brought 2 cars to the south of Spain. One, which was later found to have bomb-making equipment inside, was left on the Spanish side of the border and to be used as a getaway vehicle. A white Renault thought to contain the bomb was discovered near the governor's residence near Main Street. The gang were walking back to the border when they were ambushed and shot. The bodies were taken to Gibraltar's Royal Navy Hospital, where they still are. Streets nearby were cleared and sealed off. The search for a possible 4th member of the gang started immediately and is still going on. A remotely controlled cart was moved in and the controlled explosion attempted on the white Renault, but it was found to be free of explosives. The search is continuing for another suspect vehicle. Its whereabouts are not known. The bombers chose Gibraltar for 2 main reasons. First, it is relatively low-key in its approach towards security, despite the high number of British military personnel stationed here. And second, the 1st Royal Anglians, the obvious targets of the attack, have just arrived on the Rock after a tour of duty in Northern Ireland. Jeremy Hams, ITN, in Gibraltar.
Mairead Farrell was already a heroine to the IRA and a very dangerous senior terrorist to the British government. She received a standing ovation at the 1986 Sinn Féin conference after she'd been introduced by their president, Gerry Adams. Mairead Farrell was only 19 in 1976 when she was involved in this attack on the Conway Hotel, Belfast. One of her companions, Sean McDermott, was shot dead. Another, Kieran Doherty, died in the Maze hunger strike. Mairead Farrell was sentenced to 14 years in prison. She served 10 years in Armagh, where she led the women's hunger strike in support of the men's action in the Maze. She went on 18 days hunger strike herself, and she stood as an H-block candidate in the general election in the South in 1981. Danny McCann was also a senior provo. He'd been caught in possession of a rocket launcher in 1981, but had been part of a so-called dirty protest in the Maze. His house has been attacked by loyalists. Sean Savage had a lower profile, but was regarded by the provos as one of their most effective volunteers. All 3 of those shot in Gibraltar came from the Roman Catholic area of West Belfast. All 3 had been involved in what the provos call the armed struggle for most of their adult lives. Provisional IRA sources say they'd been picked for the Gibraltar mission because of their commitment, experience and maturity. But a Sinn Féin spokesman today claimed their deaths were execution by the British government. David Rose, ITN, Belfast.
Army intelligence officers have been expecting an IRA attack on a military target following a string of setbacks for the provisionals such as Loch Gaul, where 8 of their ranks were killed by the SAS, and the seizure of weapons destined for the IRA on board the Exxon last October. Gibraltar was an obvious choice, with so many British servicemen stationed there. The IRA believes an attack on an overseas target gives them prestige and brings international publicity to their struggle. The team are believed to have picked up false Irish passports in Dublin and visited Spain and Gibraltar several times planning the attack, but Spanish police had been tipped off and warned the British authorities that a suspected IRA unit was operating around the Costa del Sol north of the border. Whitehall flashed a message back asking that the provisionals be kept under surveillance but not apprehended. As they drove south to the Gibraltar border, they were followed all the way. Once across, the SAS took over, springing the trap that led to their deaths.
And within the last hour, the RUC have reported outbreaks of rioting in West Belfast. Police chiefs say 10 vehicles have been hijacked and some have been set on fire. The security forces have fired a number of plastic bullets. It's not yet known whether anyone has been hurt in the trouble.